Hey everybody, welcome back to another Monday Mystery Tool. A couple weeks ago I had showed you all these trammel points, and these particular ones are made specifically for a combination square. And then literally just a couple days after that video, I went to pick up an online auction item that I had purchased, an old toolbox, a machinist toolbox. Digging through the toolbox, I found this, and I just couldn't believe it. I actually knew what it was. It's an old school set of Craftsman trammel points. And these are a little bit more traditional. I had thrown a few photos in that previous video of different variants of trammel points. And holy cow, this is so cool. Now this, I was hoping that these would fit on a yardstick, but they don't. But then I found these in the toolbox, and it looks like they're actually made to go right in there. All right, so what do we actually use them for? Well, the trammel points, you can use them kind of like a divider, protractor, compass, whatever you want to call that thing, to make circles. And the advantage is you can make the circles as big as you want. I mean, literally, there is no limiting factor other than how long of a bar you have to connect the two. And the more rigid the bar, the straighter your circle is going to be, or the more even your circle is going to be. You know, with this particular one on the combination square, you're limited to, you know, a standard 12-inch combination square. Or, you know, I think they make, 16, 18-inch combo squares. They do make different kinds that actually will fit on yardsticks. And they also make kind of like C-clamp style that you could literally just get a chunk of lumber and rip it down into, you know, a 1x1 or something, and you can make it as long as a piece of wood you can find. You could even connect pieces of wood, you know, get yourself two 10-footers, you know, string them together. Doesn't matter if there's a joint in the middle. All right, and something else that I saw that was really cool is that a lot of flooring guys use this to make sure they get perfectly perpendicular lines for their layout for, you know, tile or hardwood, you know, laminates, whatever. And it would go something like this. So let's say you have your center line marked on the floor, you know, wall to wall. Now you need a perfectly perpendicular line that runs the distance, you know, and you could run tape, but you're always measuring off of something, and the walls are never straight, right? So what you do is you take 2 points. So I've already set up the trammels to where perfectly centered from the center dot here to the outside of the gray square, same thing here. Then you would take your trammel, extend it out. Now you go from that center dot, and you'd mark a line, you know, where it would cross your center line, but further out. So you'd mark it, and for me, that's gonna be right here, okay? And then do the same thing over here. So we'll put the line right there, and you can get these to where they actually have the pencil in them. I just don't have it set up that way. Then you do the same thing from the other side, and wherever it crosses, which it's gonna be dead on, there and back, and that is absolutely perfect right on this line that's already here. So it's just a demonstration, obviously, but yeah, so you can make this literally as big as you want. So let's say you have your line set out a little bit wider. You do the same thing. You can get a line back there and back here, or a point to center up, and now you've got a perfectly perpendicular line to start your layouts on the floor. So a couple months ago, I went from not even knowing what trammel points are to now having 2 different kinds of sets here. Super cool. Probably not going to use them a whole lot, but I really like this stuff. So this guy will be next week's mystery tool. And if you got any guesses on what it might be, go ahead and throw it in that comment section. I had to look it up. I'd never seen one before. It's called a draft right, and really neat. It's actually got some real heft to it. You know, feels quality made. You can see how old the box is here. So we'll get into that next week. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe buttons. We'll see you next week.